Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of SnowTown here in Cities Skylines, where last episode guys, we finally implemented in our very own fishing industry. And it turned out to be the most beautifulest thing the world has ever seen. It went pretty well. I said from the get-go that we're going to have a lot of comments going, yo Seniac, your fishing lines things are too long. And yes, I know. I freaking know. But at the end of the day, you got to do what you've got to do. Today, I want to try and focus on getting a better connection to the highway. Shock. Yes, I know. I want to be able to kind of export the fishing products a little bit easier as well. And because we're only catching fish at the moment, we need to, one, turn them into tinned products by setting up our very own fish factory, but we also need to drop down a couple of fish markets so we can sell it locally to the residents of SnowTown. So if you do enjoy this episode and you want to see more SnowTown in the future, then guys, please make sure you smash that like button down below. If you aren't already here, then make sure you do subscribe so you're notified when you get that next. I've lost my train of thought. I was just too focused on that little outside connection. I don't know what I'm saying right now, but we are back. Woo, we're kind of moving. So yeah, this is what we did last episode. Then we got a couple of little fishing harbors down there, some over here, some over there, and some over here. Boats are sailing around. They're doing a fantastic job right now, and currently we are making 6,800 income from the fishing industry, and it turns out to be nearly 5,000 in profit. That's pretty good, right? It's pretty good. But only issue is, because it's so spread thin, like they're up here, they're down there, they've got a long drive to kind of get it outside of the region. Whether that be they drive it out, which is a really, really long way, or whether they kind of get it to the shipping dock over there, like I said, it is a little bit of an effort for them. So we're going to make things a little bit easier. Now we're going to do this in stages. So one, I want to get a kind of highway connection just over there, which I've already made some kind of progress towards it. I was playing around with a few different designs. I'll show you that in just a moment. I also want to get these roads that spread over the islands outside of the region. So this one is going to either go up to there and out, or onto this island and out. So that becomes a nice little connection for these guys. And then this road that kind of goes up is going to cross over there and go out too. So we're going to have two brand new outside connections from this side of the region right now. And then we might take a look at seeing what we can do. It depends on what happens at that point, whether I place down a cargo harbour nearby for these guys. But we shall see. We shall see. So this is what I did for the the highway connection. First, I changed up this road to the small 4-lane road right now, as you can see. So when it gets over to this point, it kind of then splits. So the two middle lanes link into this single lane highway, which go to this junction there. And then the outer lanes here split. Now, I didn't do it into a 2 because then obviously, you know, it would be kind of awkward coming off that. So it goes into a 1, that splits into a 1, and that's how we're going to do our whole connection here. Now, what's going to make this different is, 1, they're straight away onto the highway system. They can drive out of the region if they need to. But also they can hook onto the highway and get to the export area just that tad little bit quicker, and then keeps the traffic off the lower road. So we'll set the remainder of this up first and see where we get to. So I kind of left it off where we got to this point here, and I'm going to bring this up and over with the Anna key on to about, we'll bring it to there, and then this one, is that in line? And right, it's in line. And is it parallel? Yes, it is. And then we're going to have to kind of hook it around. So this goes over, goes round, and then connects to there. And then this one kind of comes off and round that way. So it's kind of like a very awkward version of this junction that we've created. More like an overpass. I think we actually have one somewhere like it. That's a very, very big version. No, that's actually not it. Where do I have another version of that? I know I have it somewhere, but I can't quite remember. Either way, it's that. Oh, it's here. It's free. It's right next to us. Oh my good God. So yeah, we're creating a very loose version of this over here right now. So we'll start with doing this one first. So I'm going to bring it up by 6. And it's going to be quite a little bit difficult, this, isn't it? because it's going to snap onto that. So 6 by 6. I'm trying to get out a 90-degree turn. How does that look? Do you reckon that's a bit too much? Because then it's going to be almost like this. Is that too much of a bend? Because it's coming at a slight angle. Excuse me. Why are you not connected? Road. What's? Oh, that's why it wasn't kind of working. Right, hold on. Hold on. Shut the front door a second. Right, so 6. Are you really going to play games? Okay, so this one's going to have to stay as it is. 6 by 6 there. Let's put that back on. And then if I do another 6 by 6 there. So it kind of like spins round. It is going to be quite a sharp little turn, that is, isn't it? So I might have to play around with the move it. But then again, that will be a 2-lane road. No, it won't be. It'll be a 2-lane road after. So let me reverse this road around. Let me do the right angling of the slopes. Oh, why'd you do that for? Bam, 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 bam. Why is it doing that to that one? I don't get it. You should have been doing that, you fool. It brings that up for no particular reason. Right, if I then align this to that, I still get the big jump. So we'll have to manually do it. So bring that down to here. And then we'll take it from there, there, and there to slope it a bit better. Now, do you reckon that works, or do you reckon that's too much of a sharp turn-off? That's my only issue, right, with that. It's too much of a sharp turn-off. So what I need to do then is actually stick it out a bit further. That'll be the way to go. So bring it out by another 5. And there we go, matey. And again, we'll try one more time. So we'll go by a... We'll do a 5 by 5 this time. There we go. We'll come down by 5. 5 by 5 there. See, this is a bit better. And if I connect it to there, and then we kind of bend it round, that's a little bit better turn off, isn't it? Yeah. So let me flip this road the right way round now. Juicy. Juicy, boys. And let me see if this is going to play ball with me at this point. Please, 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 please. No, it didn't. I don't get it. Why are you lifting this side up? Let me undo. I don't know why. I don't know why. So we won't select that then. We'll bring this down to a reasonable height. And then we'll do the rest of it off there. So it's not the end of the world. It's just really annoying. There we go. Sweet, mate. Is that still kind of high? I feel like it kind of is. There we go. So that should be okay then. Let me just check the angles. Yeah. Yeah, that should be okay. We should be alright. And then I'll make this road kind of close there. And what is the angle going to be for this? So a 7 by 7, which connects there. And then this goes a little bit differently. So I could do it like a 6. Where was that then? Unless I just kind of like sprawl it out slightly. And then we create our own little bend like that. And then bring that in. See, that works well. That does a good job there. And then what we do then is turn this into a 2-lane highway on that little strip. So then from the lane management side of things, that's 2 go straight on. So you can see how the lanes now divide off. So 3 lanes, the right hand lane turns off, 2 into a 2, and that lane there turns on into the right side. All good, mate. That is then all done. That side anyway. So we'll have to give it some time before we start seeing them using it. And then we'll set up this side real quick right now. So is that a little bit too close, do you reckon? To create our turn. So if we do a 7. How's that? And then we kind of do the usual. Is that too sharp of a bend? What do you reckon? Or do you reckon that could work? It might be too sharp of a bend, but it's one of those things, isn't it? It's like I'm doing it all at different angles. So if I upgrade you and you, and we'll just see how it goes. If it's too sharp, I'll mess about with it. But we've got the lane management down just like that. So that junction is then kind of done. Like, I ain't got to do much to it right now unless there is a few little issues. My only issue I can see, that should be okay as a little turn off. It's how crazy that one is. So I don't know. But also, I gotta start at the heights. So I brought that to there. Bam and bam. And just quickly slope these. It's a bit better. And then sloped. Well, I'll bring this one down first. And then slope them. There we go. So we see. I'm not sure how much cool we're gonna have for that. I don't like this turn. I'll be honest with you. I don't like it. So let's just quickly sort it. So rather than going straight down to here, I'll bring it to there. And we have the bend there instead. That's better. There we go. That's the more natural turn, isn't it? Right, I've spent way too long on this than I wanted to. But there we go, that's done. Vehicles now using the overpass section now, which is really good. So it keeps the traffic slightly off that bottom road right now, which they'll pass through easy to get to the harbour there. They're using the highway too to kind of come back. Are these guys going to take the highway road? Yeah, which is good to see. Right, glorious. Glorious. So now I want to take a quick focus on the roads going out. So we're still making the same kind of... Ooh, we're actually making more money. Nice. Now, is that because I've just caught it at a weird time, or is that because they're now utilising these roads a little bit easier to get the exports out? I don't know. I'm not going to say it's that because it's a little bit too early to judge. But if that's the case, then yeah. Right, these little roads then. Oh, I need to sort this island out first. So let me just quickly... We're smoothing it... So do I smoothing it off or... No, because smoothing it off then creates some bits that will go, or that will remain underwater. So smoothing that section off here, up to there, cover it all up. Bob's your uncle, and if your uncle's not Bob, then do you even have an uncle? I don't know what I'm even talking about right now. Right, okay. That's done then. We'll keep it like that. Gonna have some natural flooding, of course. So reset to sea level. Shabam! There we go. Water is gone. I'm like Jesus. No, not Jesus. I'm like Moses parting the sea. And the bridge going across now then. So I'm going to elevate this up to 10 at this point. And we'll do a 10... Okay, we'll go for a 12 by 12 on the bend there. Straight across. And it'll be nice to kind of keep this slightly elevated there, but then bring it down on the bend. Bam, there we go. And then this road would just simply lead all the way up. And then out. Now, can that be used as an outside connection? Or is it the wrong type of road for it? That's what I want to know. Because any other type of road, if I kind of look, you have the arrows. So I have a feeling they're not going to be able to use that road as the outside connection. So let me delete there. We can potentially do... the normal two-way highway. There we go. Okay, so the normal two-way highway, that's the road that we can utilize it from. Right. Okay, so we have this nice little bridge that passes over. So that's a nice little connection for those guys. And I want to do the same thing over here. So if I bring this back a tad and do the same thing. Actually, before I do the same thing, let me cut, because I want to use the national road. I like it. And bring this to 0. And right, if I go to there. To there, and of course then the national road finishes it off, because that not national road, so the 2-lane highway, because that national road is a modded road. You can't create it by the looks of it as an outside connection, which is fine. And then we elevate this up by 10. There we go. Straight across to there. And will it pick up? If I do a 20 by 20. Like that. And then we just sort out the slopiness. And there we go. We got another secondary connection out. So we're already starting to see vehicles using this. And we're actually starting to see like non-fish industry related vehicles use it too. Which is, it's interesting. Definitely interesting. It might cause some issues for this whole little section here. Because how it now kind of plays out. But I'll see what happens. Because we're also going to have this have like non-related traffic to the fishing industry. Because obviously they're coming from different areas. You can like treat these as like little towns. So not everyone's going to enter the region from a highway. So that's kind of interesting. It kind of adds a little bit extra to this whole little island area right now. This archipelago. Is that the right term for it? So we're going to have traffic that we didn't quite account for, which then makes this area a little bit more interesting. So definitely going to have to work out something with this, which won't be difficult. I'll just see what happens as time goes on. The great thing is, actually, is this is a 4-lane road. So if I brought it up to the 4-lane road there, I can then divide it in 2 different directions. Right, with all that set up then, so they can get to the export area over there easy. They can get to the highway system a whole lot easier. And they can now got really 2 good outside region connections where they can export stuff a little bit easier as well. Which we should then start to see income coming in a little bit quicker. But we can make it even higher by adding in, finally, those fish factories. So, are they still complaining about the goods? Or is it now because we got the vehicles so close we can sort it out? I don't know. But I'm going to create now a couple of fish factories. So they can start producing the goods. So, I'll start here to begin with. So, how big are those fish factories? They are, there we go. They're actually reasonably sized buildings, quite large. So if I go with like normal roads, and let's say I go up by 10, is 10 enough? Alright, if I drop it there, some reason it doesn't want to go right against it and hug it. So I'll make it do it. And then, so delete that. Up by 12 by the looks of it. Now I bring it to there. So if I kind of go there by 28. 5. So 5. Come on, snap over, boy. 5 by 5 on that bend will bring us into there. So we have a nice little fish factory just here, which I'll throw some power towards it. Like I said, I'm gonna create like small little communities around this area as well. And it's probably worthwhile now then. Right, if I did that, what was it like if I added in a slight bend? Yeah, we'll go with that. So I like these little kind of small towns that we're going to be building. We got a little fish factory that could be the workforce. Because they have... How many workers can they hold? Up to 53. So you can have like a small town here. Of like 53 residents. Almost anyway. Which would be pretty cool to see. But that will then start producing commercial goods. Right? We'll do one over here. So keep that as the main road there. And then this road kind of bends round. So if I came up by 12, because that's the magic number for that, and just kind of stuck that out there. Added in a little fish factory just here, boys. And then came up here by 12. And then where will the bend meet? So do I key that road in? Yeah. Nice. Not saying I can fit another one in, but if I can. Oh, snap. I didn't mean to put it there. There we go. We've got 2 little fish factories just in there right now. Which would be really handy. So they would probably get like fish from this section and up here too. I'm going to add in one more just over here as well. So... Right, I'll come off the top bit up here. So 11 there. 12 is a bit too high maybe for that. 12 that way. So add a nice little factory just here. And I'm going to push it over because it's kind of slightly overhanging on the bend. There we go. Little factory there. So does that need power? Yeah. Those have got power. So we've got a couple of fish factories down. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in total. But I feel like we could utilize and have another one over here. But I see how it goes. So this might slow down our exports now. Because rather than exporting the majority of it, they're taking it to the fish factory. Has it changed my exports? Yeah, it's slightly dipped them down. Well, I won't say slightly dipped them down. It's still at 10,000. But we can get a little bit more money out of it now. And I could build some warehouses that contain the commercial goods as well. But we'll keep it to this. Right, they've got the goods going in. They're needing fish right now, so that will be on its way shortly. So the goods are coming there right now. Goods will be on the way over there too. Right, it's going to be quite cool. How is this little section doing then? So yeah, I thought we were going to have traffic here. And look at it. We do. We do. So, let's get rid of that. Let me just pause a second. So, get rid of this and this. And what we'll do here is... What type of road is it right now? It's this road, isn't it? Yeah. We'll first start by... That's a 10 by 10 bend there. Upgrade that to there. So press play. So just by doing that alone, it'll be interesting to see how much it changes things without me like doing anything else to it. So what I can say is that is to turn that way and that is to go directly over. So you've got your defined lanes and where you need to go to. So it should split all the traffic coming down here into 2 lanes. But then the issue is then we've got a lot of vehicles trying to get over here. So that's when you would then throw in a roundabout. at this point. That's when you would then throw in a roundabout. But I want to see how it naturally clears itself in just a moment. So what I could do as well is I could say to this junction... Wrong one, wrong one. No, oh, I'm not even clicked on it. There we go. That this is the give way junction. So if that junction gives way... Right, it's going to trip over itself right now because these vehicles are trying to turn. So once that passes right now, we should have some give way. Oh, you know what we should actually do as well? Let's get back here as well. That also gives way. So give it a hot minute. So if I can clear the traffic coming in, it should then make room for the traffic leaving and heading out. So we'll just give it a moment. So one vehicle managed to pass through. But then we could actually... Where's those asymmetrical roads? These ones? Yeah. Add in 2 lanes on this side. So if I upgraded that... Right, no, I don't want it on that way. There we go. So what I'm doing now then is... Obviously that goes ahead. That is obviously making that turn. That is going that way. Maybe I add in the asymmetrical road on this as well. That is leading inwards. So just give me a second. So that is obviously going to there. That goes to there. So when they're doing that turn, they're not tripping over the traffic going this way. That can freely go this way and this way. No issues there. And the junction, yeah, it's all on the giveaway signs just there right now. So let's see how this ticks along. This is going to be interesting. So we're going to get a little backlog here. But I want to see what happens when we eventually clear all this road. Whether or not we need to add in an additional lane on this side. So where are you actually going? You're going that way to export. So we have quite a bit of traffic coming in. So maybe this is, you know what, stick the roundabout on it, Seniac, because it's only going to cause issues down the long run. Because I'm just going to be backing this up. And you think about it, there's a lot of traffic coming from that direction. So we tried. And now we're going to succeed. So a 2-lane highway. We'll go... Should we go 60? How's that? But then again, the traffic is now slowly starting to move. Nah, but it's not going to be enough. Do you reckon 60 is too big? How about we go for 50? $50 just there. And then we'll play around with this. Let me pause one more time. Delete that to there. Delete that. Delete that. Delete the road a bit more. Because I never like how, when you come to this, it's like a 90-degree turn. So let's go back to the national road we've got now, which is actually a decent size away from it. So what we'll do here is we'll kind of cut and put that on. Over to there. I knew that was going to happen. Over to there, and then that to there. So if that kind of bows in a bit, that bows in a bit. It's a better way to kind of lead up to the roundabout. So bam like that. And I'll leave them free at the minute, and we'll just kind of see what happens, and I'll play around with it. Because we might be able to get away with it. Why is that disconnecting all the time? So just to there, do the same thing again here. And also we'll bow it a bit. So the important one at the minute is just making sure that they crisscross like that. And then the same here. Now this is actually coming from a 4-lane road, isn't it? So I can even merge. That's turned off again. I could either then make it merge into the 2-laner. After this is probably the way to go for. Again, I don't know till it happens. Basically, oh snap! There's no undo button on that. I've made my roundabout a different size. There we go. And then oh, so that's the wrong type of road, isn't it? There we go. Bam. Bow that in a bit. So, as of right now, without me doing any lane management on the actual roundabout itself, without me saying, yo, this is how it works, without me doing any giveaway signs or anything like that, let's just kind of like watch over it slightly. Let me just zoom in a bit there. So let me just watch over it. And see where it trips over one another. So what we can see straight away is the traffic coming from this direction passes over wonderfully. The issue we have is the traffic that wants to cross over there because they get caught up with the guys on this road as well. Now, that is going to be a very heavily used road too. So first things first, let me just sort out this. Where they don't stop, they just continue to go. There we go. And then let me say to these then, that you can spur over in those 2 lanes, but when you get to here, that is the turn off, and that road goes bam, bam. So then here, that splurges into 2 lanes. But this is the turn off. And that goes bam, bam. Right? I know we have this here. So that goes to there. That would go to there. So we have to make sure that these guys are giving way. These guys are giving way. These guys are giving way. Oh, there we go. So then we should have it. How far back does that traffic now go? Okay, up to on this little island there. So we just give it some time. So we'll give it some time. But worst case scenario, I'm going to create a better junction. Because I don't like using roundabouts. As efficient as they are, it gives me anxiety to see that these guys are stopping here. Let alone these guys right now, whose traffic is building right up. So we'll leave it like that. What I could do is just do little things like this, where I merge that into a 2-laner. So that goes bam, bam. And then that lane is for this one. That lane is for this one. So as they kind of come up to it, there's multiple lanes that they can choose from. And I turn that into the asymmetrical road leading up to it as well. Which is to do with this, isn't it? Yeah. And make sure all this is right. There we go. So they can choose their lane that they need to be in way before it. But it's still going to cause traffic issues either way. So I'll leave that as it is now then, because you still have that initial bulk of vehicles trying to head through. And I want to go back to how much money I'm making. So still around about the same, even when we include the fish factories. But that could also now be down to the fact that we can't get the vehicles in and out as easy. So that then makes me want to not use a roundabout, if that makes sense. It really does. And then what's the issue going on over here then while they're stopping? Why are they stopping here? Boy, you best not be stopping. There we go. So they should continue to pass through and not have any issues. Right, let's go back to the fishing industry anyway, because I want to get some fish markets in right now so we can sell to the local community. And dot these around in good little places. So let's start with this one over here. They would benefit from around this area. So let's see. I could place it either directly there, directly on the corner. I think we'll go here. So one for that region. I'll do this one over here. Facing that way. One for that region. We'll do one here. So we've got 3 fish markets there. And we'll do the last one over on this side. So just there. They've all got water, right? Yeah. Which they'll get their own fish and then be able to sell it to the local community. And then we get a nice little profit. Do the same over here then. So I'm not going to put one on the peninsula down here. Or should I? Next, they won't really fit in too well. Unless I squeezed it. What we got happening over here then? Oh, the tunnel actually happens there. So I could squeeze in a fish market just here. So it's kind of like on the outskirts there. So those guys will enjoy that. We'll definitely get one over here. I can't put it like there. Oh, can't squeeze it in there. That would have been a good one, though. So, I think I'll first drop one. Right, let me see what's going on here, then. So, that elevates at that moment here. So, if I anarchied it in. Now, it goes for the building. So, we'll anarchy it here. Because that should be a little bit higher, which it is. Should satisfy those guys. And then we'll squeeze one in around here somewhere. I think we should go here. There we go. So it's slightly under the highway area there. Because I'm treating them as like industrial units. That's how I'm treating them right now. And then for this one. So the ones over there. This one's going to have to kind of be a little bit closer. So why not just kind of throw it down just here. By the commercial area. And we'll leave it as that then for the little fish markets to begin with. And hopefully then, like I said, that will then start producing a little bit more revenue for us. Now, as I left this for a little bit of time right now. Let's fast forward. Yeah. As good as the roundabout idea is, I think we just have too much traffic that overwhelms this whole roundabout idea anyway. So, let's change this up. Let's change this up right now. We tried, we gave it a go, but ultimately it wasn't going to work. So my next idea then is, back to that 4-lane road. Where is it? Here. Right, we make sure that all this is elevated upwards. Right, and if I select it all, so I don't want to select any trees, and make sure that it is all aligned to the object height of, say, like that, so it stays elevated there. Oh, snap, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. And then the national road that we've been using. Oh, wrong button, turn anarchy off. Goes directly up to it. Alright. And that's where it splits into a normal single lane. Now, can I get 2 lanes coming out of that? That then lead onto that? Or is that then pushing it a bit too far because they still kind of need to get to where they need to get to? And how far that 4-lane go? Now, we have a 4-lane national highway, but then how chunky is that going to be? It's not as bad as you think. But I think I'll keep it to that. And we'll bring it down to there. It might be a bit too close. But I'm almost borderline creating a triple little junction. And I don't really want to go down that route. So what I could do at this point then is treat it as... right, let me go back to... Where is it? My national road. So let's say it's the national road from here, there. I'm elevating this bit there. And there. Right, this is the idea we're going to have now, boys. So elevate you there. Align to object height. Bam. Sweet, mate. Sweet. And then the national road on this side is going to come up to... Let me just pass it underneath. Because we'll do the roundabout underneath. And then that's an overpass. And then if they want to turn left, right, or centre, they come off that onto an not an underground roundabout. Like a roundabout on the bottom area. But I'm just trying to make my little point section. There we go. And then roundabout mod. Which will make it go 60. Like that. And which is going to be our 2-lane highway. Right, you see where this is going now? Right, delete you and you. So we have the bypass road that flies through. Let me just quickly upgrade that there. Yeah, so we have the bypass road that flies through. And then we have they have like on and off ramps to go in that direction. That's what we should have done in the first place. So then I bring this down. There we go. And then boom. Boom. I'm on the wrong section. Bend that around to there. And then we create our little on and off ramp. So we'll first start with the one going that way. Oh. One going that way. Which I'll throw it to there. Throw it to there. Spin that round. And then we need to have this section here aligned to the object height of that. And then we just quickly upgrade those to be elevated. Now if I make that, and then we just sort out the move it tool. There we go. And then the lane management. So no one's crossing over one another and everyone's going in the right direction. If I put it into play mode, at this point, you can only on this area do a left-hand turn, right? You can only do that left-hand turn, which should keep everyone at the moment flowing. Should do its job and hopefully clear a big bundle of the traffic. I think I'm going to change the speed limit as well on that road so we can push the vehicles through. What is the speed limit on it? It's 50. So what's it on the highway? 90. So does it go all 90 all the way down? Pretty much, yeah. So if I can push the vehicles through a little bit easier, then we're all good. No one's hitting one another. They're all merging through. And as they progress further down, that's when they should switch into the lanes they need to get to. Right, good. We're starting to clear that little bit of nonsense. And I've got to replicate the same thing on the other side. But what I'm thinking as well, though, is maybe turning this into a 2-lane. So I can utilize both lanes and not getting caught up on one another. Or maybe have them be able to switch lanes after the bend. So I can filter it all through. We'll see how that kind of works. Because I'm only really pushing the issue up further down the road. It's really what I'm doing, isn't it? But it could just because I've got this initial big bulk of traffic that needs to kind of get through. So that could be my other issue as well. It really could. Right, it's interesting. Very interesting right now. I like it when we have an issue like this, because when you got to figure it out, it's like solving a puzzle, isn't it? Now, I don't have any roads that are like asymmetrical in the sense of like one of the roads has 3 lanes on one side. This has a 2 and a 3. Okay, that might be the one. That has a 1 and a 3. No, I need a 2 and a 3, don't I? Which it would be this. But then as the traffic is now passing through, I'm not really having that issue, am I? Right, we'll see what happens when I do this next side. And that then decides whether I do the 2 and the 3 lane road. Alright, bring that to there. Is that the right space? It seems quite far away. Wow. Wowzers! Alright. There we go. Right, so if that went into there, that went into there, and we slightly sort the bend out. And get the lane management down. Now, the other one merged into like a 2 and a 2 lane. This is merging into a single lane. So it 100% it is a little bit different. Oh, that ain't gonna work, is it? Alright, bend these roads around slightly. And then I've got to sort out the alignment. So I'm never going to do both at the same time. Almost. But that really don't like how its alignment does it. Right, hold on. Alright, we take it to that point, flip it round. Okay, very, very loose design again. Just roll with this. Just roll with this for a hot minute. And we'll see how it plays out. Because I got to create a better version of it, because that one's sticking out way too far. But my main thing is, right, making sure that everyone can take the directions that they kind of need to take. This is all not fishing industry traffic. This is now just general traffic entering the region from this area. Which I didn't account for, to be honest with you. I really didn't account for that. So the fact that we're having it is quite interesting. I mean, it makes sense. We're always going to have it when you add another connection. Makes these little junctions a little bit more busier. So it's just all about making sure that this roundabout is not too overwhelmed. Which would be interesting. So now some time has passed by. Fishing industry. Making, oh, did you see it was making 18,000 there? That's the highest we've seen it. I haven't added any more fishing stuff down. It's just been like production buildings. So the fact that we're able to sell a lot more fish with these new road connections, fish factories and fish markets is good enough for us. And almost 20% of the whole income from SnowTown is coming from industries. So that's pretty good. The only one we don't have in at the minute is the farming industry. But they seem to be managing with this. And we'll just kind of see how it goes. We'll see how it ticks along. Because I can always see us that having additional issues and whatnot. But yeah. So this is the kind of other stuff I need to add in, is making sure that they don't slow down, they continue to flow through. And we shouldn't have too many issues. Once I get the highway all connected, I might even do, because the highway's going to come over to here, might have a little turn off there that comes down to this road. So that people coming from there might cut up to the highway to kind of use the highway instead. Makes this junction a whole lot busier, but it's nice to see vehicles using it. It really is. So still need to add another junction over there. But it's fine for the most part, isn't it? It just looks really, really busy. But as long as you've got that kind of overlay road, all good. But I want to make a better version of this. So this won't stay. It's still got to do all the slope ramps, but I won't do that. I'll make a better version of this before next episode anyway. Because it's a little bit hit and miss at the minute. But that system, now we know that system works, we can then really take advantage of it. Yeah. Right. So, are the fish factories okay? They all seem to be low on fish. So does that mean we need to, like, you know, get more fish maybe? Fish markets, selling fish for days. Which is looking really, really good for those. That one sold 60. Wow. What about like this one? Only sold 10. Okay. This one over here, 20. That one, 50. This one, 50. That one, 50. So I think this is the biggest seller. Okay, it's gone down to 20, but it was at 60. That one's into 30. I didn't realise they were so close, but it's all good. It's all good, boys. Oh, 110. Okay, that one sold a lot. Right, we've now found our feet with the fishing industry. And we're making some solid cash. Now we've officially got 20% of our income is from industrial area. So yeah, it's just a farmland one left. And then we got all the unique factories as well that we got to squeeze in. And them themselves should make us a ton of cash. This junction leading in and out is looking good. That junction's still looking good. Even though we got quite a high volume of traffic passing through, it still is pretty good right now. So let me check the traffic overlay in this area in general. So yeah, roads are always going to be heavily used. But that's not a negative effect on how the traffic is. It's just a very high populated road. So I'm just kind of looking in where the deep red areas are. There's not really much traffic happening. Really, is there? We're pretty much traffic free. So there would be many areas and places where we can improve the traffic on these islands. But it's alright. It's alright, I don't really have much issues. So where this kind of does that little 90-degree turn, we could probably get away with doing something for those guys to stop that little backlog happening. So maybe where they add in the asymmetrical road. Or I could just simply add in stuff like a junction restriction so everyone else gives way apart from these guys. It could be the way to go. Yeah, it could be the way to go. So maybe where, you know, it's just these two that are giving way. So these two roads can always flow through. But you're never really going to be truly happy. I'm never really going to have that free-flowing road. But that's where maybe I do like a little cut-off road that kind of like bypasses the town. But now we got these issues arising. This is where, as a city planner, as a developer, even in the real world, you then go, okay, so is it time for some bypass roads to bypass these small towns? Even though these small towns aren't even been built yet. That's where you then kind of think about doing stuff like it. And what also would be beneficial is to have a secondary crossing from all these islands. So it would be nice eventually to have a crossing that passes over up here. I don't know if we'll ever have one going across over here, or whether that will be a bit too much. It probably would be. But I can see us having one over on like this island over here, just bypassing over. And that will kind of then reduce the amount of traffic coming down in these areas in general as well. Okay, I think me adding in those little giveaway signs has kind of messed things up slightly. So let me kill those off and let's leave the traffic to do what it's got to do. That's a headache for another episode. But now we're consistently making over 10,000 income before expenses in the fishing industry without adding in any more, you know, fishing harbors. That's pretty good. We're still going to add in the fish farms, the algae farms, the seaweed farms and all that. But that is for the future. Until next time, guys, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.